Hello, Kevin Mills here, surrounded by the beauty of Minnehaha Park in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I'm here today to bring you Chops Builders 1, which follows my 2-level drumming video. If you haven't seen that video, you may want to take a look at it because concepts I'm using here were explained in that previous video. But let's get started, shall we? Chops Builders. The first 3 items that we will encounter here are taken directly from the original 26 drum rudiments. And the first one I like to talk about is the single paradiddle. Here's a single paradiddle. That was a right paradiddle. Now I'm going to lead with my left. That was a left paradiddle. If I loop them, we have a string of single paradiddles. The single paradiddle is a tremendously effective technique builder because we have 2 single strokes followed by 2 strokes with the same hand. 2 singles and 2 produced by the same hand. As we get this faster, the 2 strokes that are produced by the same hand become doubled. Rather, bounced is what I meant to say. On top of that, I'm still using 2-level drumming. This is a downstroke. Up, tap, tap. Take all of those elements and churn them back and forth that fast, and you have got a technique builder better than any other technique builder I can give you. So just doing paradiddles will take you so far down the road. Sticking with them until they are a pure joy and quite fast will bear a lot of fruit for you. Let's go on to number 2, the double paradiddle. Number 3, triple paradiddle. Okay, now a little bit of my own creativity comes into play here. I'm going to use the single, double, and triple paradiddle in a way which I devised. Now, I don't think I'm probably the only drummer to come up with this, but I know that I did not get this from any other drummer. This is something I worked out when I was in high school. So what I'm going to do here on number 4 is take 2 beats worth of 16th notes followed by an 8th note paradiddle. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 paradiddle. Another great thing about the paradiddle is it has a built-in flipping of the sticking. So I lead with my right until the paradiddle, and then I lead with my left in the second measure. I designed these to be kind of like wind sprints, where I'm going to hit those 16th notes as fast as I can, and then relax my muscles during the 8th note paradiddle, and then hit it hard and relax. It's a lot of fun. Now, those of you who are highly astute, and you know who you are, noticed that I'm no longer using just my wrists. As I go for that 16th note burst, I'm using fingers to initiate those strokes, not wrists. Now, you don't have to do that for these to be beneficial. But if you want to go for the ultimate speed, using the fingers will help you crank out a few more RPMs, if you know what I'm saying. So let's talk a little bit about finger control. When I was a freshman at the University of Minnesota, 1978-79, I lived in Pioneer Hall. I got there before my roommate did, so I took the bottom bunk. One day I wanted to practice drums, but I didn't feel like moving or anything. So I took my practice pad and I wedged it into the frame of the bunk above me. And then I started drumming while lying flat on my back, like a lazy whatever. But I noticed something amazing. I could use nothing but my fingertips to produce a stroke that was above my head because now gravity was working with my fingers as the stick pulled against my fingers when it came to this part of the stroke, my fingers were extended, and then I could pull the stick back up. I'm telling you, it was a revelation. I had never focused on finger-controlled strokes until that experience. I've often thought it would be fun to patent this idea and sell it, but I think someone might already have the patent on a bunk bed. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't think I could probably make any money on that. So I'd have to come up with something different. A stand that would bring the pad up above me, but it would have to be ultra rigid. So then I thought, okay, those lifts that they put the car on at the mechanics, that's rigid. That would go up and down. You could hide it under your bunk, bring it up. But then I realized the cost could be prohibitive. So I don't know if I'm ever going to bring this to market. But if any of you do, just give me a shout out. Just a shout out. That's all I'm saying. Taking this idea right here and placing it on the horizontal drum has another element of difficulty, because now gravity isn't working at all. I can do my fingers all day and nothing happens because the sticks bottom out right here. So to get the fingers into play, we have to use a violent rebound from the pad or the drum. The rebound has to work against our fingers, and that's a big difference from this, where every stroke at any speed can be done with the fingers, to this where you have to have a pretty strong rebound going to work against it with your fingers. Anyway, it's fun to do, and when we are going for the fastest notes, yeah, I use my fingers, proudly. Let's move on to number 5. 3 beats of 16th notes, and then a double paradiddle. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a double paradiddle. Lot of fun. You may have also noticed, if you came and saw my 2-level drumming video, I talked about big strokes, loud strokes, and unaccented notes. And all these unaccented notes I strive to keep at about 3 inches above the pad. Well, when I'm doing my burst on these things, I can no longer keep it 3 inches. The sticks are coming up pretty high, so I can activate more of the finger. That ain't 3 inches. It's also not very soft, okay? As we go faster, it's a little hard to keep rigid in our rules. Here's number 6. 4 beats of 16th notes and a triple paradiddle. Oh, are you kidding me? A guy's walking behind Minnehaha Falls with his girlfriend? Buddy, I gotta tell you, the path that you're on is wet clay, sloping to your very likely death. And you want to go back there with your girlfriend in street shoes. You are going to slip. You are... What did I just say? Okay. Yes, yeah, you better turn around. You better turn around. Let's move on to number 7. On 7, I'm just trying to achieve a sheet of unending 16th notes, but the way they're being produced changes. In the first measure, 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a, they're just alternate sticking, as we would always expect. In the second bar, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, I'm doing an 8th note pulse and doubling each of those strokes. So, 16th notes followed by doubled 8th notes. Love it. On number 8, we're taking the same idea and compressing it, so now it's 2 beats of alternating, 2 beats of bouncing. because I don't have as much time to settle into one of those before I'm jerked into the other one, that's a little tougher. And now we take the same idea and make it a little bit tougher still. On number 9, we have a beat of 16th notes, a beat of doubled 8th notes. Again, it's a little harder, and I can't go as fast there because the shifting of one idea into the next is problematic. Number 10, I will allow this to speak for itself. Now, if I had notated that differently, that would be a paradiddle-diddle, paradiddle-diddle. But when it's notated like this, technically it might not be a paradiddle-diddle. I don't know, those rudimental guys, they play, you know. And lastly, we have number 11. There you go, people. Hope you enjoyed Chops Builders 1. Hope you enjoyed your time at Minnehaha Park. I hope you'll subscribe. And I hope you'll check this out. And we'll catch you next time at kevinmillsmusic.com.